I used to think betrayal was something loud, shouting, slamming doors, dramatic confrontations. But the worst kind is quiet. It seeps into your life like a slow leak, and you only notice the damage when the floor finally caves in. That's exactly how it started with my best friend Ethan and my girlfriend Lily. I've known Ethan since middle school. We weren't brothers, but close enough that everyone assumed we were. We grew up together, worked summer jobs together, even moved to the same city after college. When Lily and I started dating 2 years ago, he was the one who introduced us. He joked that he played Cupid, but at the time it didn't raise any alarms. Life felt stable, predictable. I worked remote tech support, Lily worked part-time at a boutique, and Ethan bounced between construction jobs. We hung out most weekends. Nothing felt wrong, except little things. Things I brushed off because I trusted both of them. Like how Ethan always seemed to know details about arguments Lily and I hadn't mentioned to anyone. Or how Lily laughed harder at his jokes than mine, even when they were the same jokes I'd heard 100 times. Or how Ethan would drop by when I wasn't home, usually to keep Lily company so she wasn't bored. Lily told me I was overthinking. Ethan told me I needed to relax. And I believed them because it was easier than imagining the alternative. But the signs kept stacking up. One night, Lily left her phone on the coffee table when she went to shower. A notification popped up from Ethan. "Did you delete the earlier stuff?" I wasn't the type to snoop, so I didn't touch it. But my stomach twisted hard enough that it stayed with me for days. I talked myself out of it, told myself it was probably something innocent, maybe about a surprise plan or a private joke. I wanted to believe that. I needed to. Then came the night that really shook me. I was supposed to be out helping my brother move, but he rescheduled last minute. I headed home, thinking I'd surprise Lily with takeout. When I walked in, the apartment felt off. Not messy, not suspicious, just off. Like someone had rushed to make things look normal. A jacket that wasn't mine hung on the dining chair. A beer bottle, Ethan's brand, sat in the sink, half rinsed. Lily acted annoyed instead of surprised when she saw me. Said Ethan had just stopped by for 5 minutes. 5 minutes apparently meant a jacket, a beer, and the TV paused on a movie I'd never watch. She talked fast, too fast, and Ethan wouldn't answer any of my texts that night. The next morning, I finally admitted to myself that something was going on. Maybe not the full betrayal yet, but something slippery and dishonest. Something that made my skin feel tight and my head feel hot. That was the moment the first crack really showed. I didn't confront them. Not yet. I learned something from years of dealing with people who hide things. The truth always reveals itself if you stop pushing and start watching. And that's when a different part of me, the quiet, calculating part I didn't know I had, began paying attention. I wasn't angry yet, but I was awake. I didn't have a concrete plan at first. I just shifted gears internally, less trusting, more observant. It's strange how quickly you start noticing patterns once you stop giving people the benefit of the doubt. Lily became oddly protective of her phone. She used to leave it face up on the couch. Now it was glued to her hand. Ethan started canceling on me more often, but somehow had plenty of time to help Lily with errands. And whenever we all hung out together, they had this weird rhythm in their conversations, like they were continuing a discussion I wasn't part of. I wasn't imagining it anymore. I could feel the distance, like I was sitting in a room with two people who were sharing a whisper I wasn't supposed to hear. The breaking point came on a Thursday night. Lily said she was staying late to help with inventory at the boutique. Normally I wouldn't have questioned it, but something in her tone felt shaky, rehearsed. So I decided to drop by with coffee. Nothing dramatic, nothing accusatory, just a simple visit. When I got there, the store was dark, closed. No signs of inventory work, no car in the parking lot. I stood there with two coffees and a tight feeling crawling up my back. I called her. She didn't pick up. I texted her, "Hey, I'm at the shop. Brought you coffee. Where are you?" The message stayed delivered, not read. 10 minutes passed before she finally responded. "Babe, please don't come by. The place is a mess. I'll be home later." A lie on top of a lie. I drove home slowly, trying to make sense of it. I didn't want to jump straight to the worst assumption, but when someone's lying about where they are, There's usually a reason they don't want you to know the truth. She came home an hour later, smelling like cologne that wasn't mine. She tried to play it cool, gave me a quick kiss, said she was exhausted, but when she put her bag down, her phone lit up with a message preview. Let me know when you get home safe. Tonight was risky but worth it. From Ethan. It felt like someone hit me across the chest. Not dramatic shock, more like everything around me went quiet and dull. I didn't yell. I didn't confront her. I just shut down. Completely. She didn't notice. Or maybe she pretended not to. She went to shower. I just sat on the edge of the bed, staring at the phone notification I wasn't supposed to see. My hands were shaking, but my mind was weirdly calm. That was the moment I knew the betrayal wasn't just emotional or accidental. It was deliberate, coordinated, hidden behind months of "you're overthinking" and "he's like a brother to you." And the worst part wasn't even the cheating itself. It was the fact that they made me feel crazy for sensing it. When Lily came out of the bathroom, she acted like everything was normal, curled up next to me, told me she missed me. I listened to her lie with the same mouth that kissed someone else an hour earlier. My heart was breaking quietly, but something stronger started forming underneath the pain. A hard, calm resolve. I wasn't going to confront them and give them a dramatic scene to hide behind. They'd been sneaking around, trusting that I'd stay blind. But I wasn't blind anymore. And if they wanted to play this game quietly, then fine. I'd play quietly too. Only I'd play smarter. I didn't rush anything. Anger makes people sloppy, and I needed to be sharp. If Lily and Ethan thought I was oblivious, that worked in my favor. The longer they underestimated me, the cleaner everything would play out. The first step was gathering proof, not for revenge that involved blowing up their lives publicly, but for clarity. I needed to know exactly what I was dealing with. I downloaded a call log app that synced to our shared Wi-Fi. It wasn't invasive or illegal. It just showed who she was calling and when. Within a week, Ethan's name appeared constantly. Late nights, early mornings, random midday calls. Next, I watched their patterns. If Lily left at 6 p.m. for work, Ethan would go offline around the same time. If she said she was going to her mom's place, Ethan wouldn't answer my texts for hours. It all lined up so cleanly that I felt stupid for not noticing sooner. Then came my quiet test. One evening, I told Lily I'd picked up an unexpected overnight shift for a big IT update. She acted overly supportive, almost relieved. I left the apartment with my backpack, walked down the street, and circled back through the side entrance of our building. I sat in my car in the back lot, waiting. At 9:17 p.m., Ethan showed up. He didn't even hesitate. Just parked, walked straight to my door, let himself in with the spare key he borrowed months ago, and closed it behind him like he lived there. That was the moment any remaining denial in me died completely. But I didn't storm in. I didn't want a screaming match. I wanted strategy. So I waited until he left, recorded the time, and went inside. The apartment smelled like his cologne again. Lily had changed the sheets. I didn't touch anything. Instead, I grabbed my laptop and set up what I needed. A quiet, simple plan. Step 1. I backed up our shared financial statements. Lily and I had a joint savings account for rent and utilities, something she barely contributed to anymore. I transferred my half into a solo account and left her portion untouched. That way, nothing looked suspicious, but I was no longer tied to her financially. Step 2. I emailed our landlord without CCing Lily, explaining I'd be moving out at the end of the month due to a personal separation, and requested that all correspondence be redirected to my new email. No drama, no details. Step 3. I found a small studio apartment 15 minutes away and signed the lease quietly. I moved boxes to a storage unit on my lunch breaks. Lily never noticed. Ethan certainly didn't. Step 4. I printed screenshots, timestamps, messages, call logs, and put them in a folder. Not to blow up their lives publicly, but because I wanted them to see the truth reflected back at them without a single word from me. The plan wasn't to humiliate them. It was to walk away clean, controlled, and untouchable, and let them sit in the mess they'd created. The final step was the simplest one: acting normal. I kissed Lily goodnight, I laughed at Ethan's jokes in the group chat. I pretended everything was fine. The difference was that now I knew the exact day and the exact moment that everything would fall into place. And when it happened, they wouldn't see it coming. The morning of the reveal felt almost peaceful. I woke up before Lily, made coffee like usual, and laid the folder on the kitchen counter. Nothing dramatic, nothing loud. Just a simple manila folder with her name on it. Inside was everything: timestamps, call logs, screenshots of messages she probably thought were deleted, and a printout of the lease termination notice with my signature at the bottom. On top, I wrote one sentence: I know. I'm not angry. I'm done. Then I grabbed my backpack, locked the door behind me, and walked out of the life I had been slowly shrinking myself to fit into. I didn't wait to hear her reaction, didn't hide in the parking lot, didn't text her afterward. I drove to my new studio, unloaded the last of my boxes, and sat on the floor among the half-assembled furniture. The quiet felt strange at first, like my ears were still tuned to a frequency that wasn't there anymore. Around noon, the calls started. First Lily, then Ethan, then Lily again. Then both of them texting, trying different tones: confusion, guilt, panic, excuses. I didn't respond. I didn't need to. They had the truth in their hands, and there was nothing they could say that wouldn't make it worse. By late afternoon, Ethan finally sent the message I knew was coming. It wasn't like that. You misunderstood. I didn't reply. Then Lily sent, please talk to me. I never wanted to hurt you. You blindsided me. That one almost made me laugh. Blindsided her? After months of lies? After using my home like a convenient hiding place for her affair? No, I wasn't giving her the dignity of a back and forth. The real impact hit the next day. Lily called crying. Her voice cracked in a way I'd never heard before. She tried to shift the blame onto Ethan, then onto me, then onto a moment of weakness, then onto stress from work. Every excuse circled back to the same truth. She wanted forgiveness without consequences. Ethan, on the other hand, went silent, probably hoping the storm would pass if he just kept his head down. Classic. But the consequences didn't go away. Lily had to take over the apartment lease alone, something she couldn't afford on her part-time income. Ethan couldn't help her either. He'd recently lost his job, something he never mentioned to me but apparently mentioned to her in detail. Their little secret world wasn't so convenient now that they had to live in reality instead of hiding in mine. A week later, I heard through mutual friends that they'd tried dating publicly and lasted exactly 4 days before blowing up at each other. Turns out the excitement of cheating doesn't translate into a functional relationship. I didn't get satisfaction from their downfall, not the dramatic fireworks kind. What I got instead was clarity. Quiet, steady clarity. The type that settles in your chest and reminds you that you didn't lose anything worth keeping. One night in my new place, I made dinner for myself, sat at my tiny folding table, and actually felt peaceful. No tension, no guessing, no explaining myself to people who treated my trust like a toy. The moral of the story isn't complicated. Sometimes revenge isn't about revenge at all. It's about stepping away, letting people expose themselves, and choosing a life where the truth doesn't have to be hunted. It just is. And honestly, that's the cleanest victory I've ever had.